Hi, everyone, and welcome back to In the Vet's Office. I am your host, Dr. Josie, and today we have a very exciting episode because I am joined by radio host, podcast queen, and fellow animal lover, Amy Brown. You may know her from the Bobby Bones Show and her own hit podcast, Feeling Things, and today...
That's my cat.
She is with me and her not so happy cat, Maggie, to talk all things animals. Welcome, Amy.
Hello. Happy to be here.
And Maggie.
Maggie normally loves sitting here. I just kind of was really hoping she would be a part of the intro, which maybe some of her were. But she loves being in here when we record. Sometimes she'll just sprawl out on the coffee table, and
it's very cat-like of her to come in here when you're recording and you probably don't want her in here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one episode that's literally all about animals, she's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. That's how I feel. I want her around me all day because I love when she cuddles, and she ignores me all day. And then when it's time for bed at night, I'll normally be almost already asleep. And then I feel her walking across my body to her little spot on my bed. And then she lays down.
Plops down.
And I'm like, where have you been all day? And then she'll stay with me all night. And I'm like, cats are weird.
Cats are aliens. They even like the illnesses they get, like they're just on a totally different playing field.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear Kara panting into the microphone? I have your dog here too. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, but Kara will sit. She's not as annoying as she used to be. So that's good.
You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
You're not as annoying anymore. She's just like going in my face and I'm just inhaling her doggy breath.
Well, she has a lot of anxiety. She's a rescue. And I think she was tied up. Like the first year of her life was spent on a rope. Like the rope was stuck into her skin, almost like her hair was matted. Like when they shaved her, because she's a Labradoodle, and you know, the curly hair, it gets all matted. And like the skin was coming off. Like it was.
I know.
So
exactly.
I think, you know, whenever she does not really like to leave my side.
She definitely seems like she's got some Velcro on her.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with. It's cute.
Yeah, she does.
Really
she's
sweet.
Like, I don't want to get tied up again.
No.
But she's gotten a lot better the last couple of years.
Did you get her from a rescue?
Yes, through we work with a woman, Kathy Sewell at iHeart.
Okay.
And she's in sales, and she has a rescue group on her own. I think she named it after one of her dogs that she rescued, Keely, like Keely's Rescue or something like that. Oh, I wish I remembered exactly. But Kathy's her name. It's so great. She knew we were looking for a dog because our Rottweiler, who I had for years, who was just randomly dropped off at our church.
Wasn't her name Josie?
Josie.
Okay,
it was
love
so
that.
cute. And so I knew we wanted to rescue because I loved that happened organically with Josie. Whenever my pastor called and was like, "You want a dog?"
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just felt like special. Now Maggie, she's not a rescue.
She's a fancy girl.
She's a fancy girl from San Diego.
We call them trust fund babies.
Yeah. So I knew with a cat I wanted to get something as hypoallergenic as possible, which there's no such thing as a hypoallergenic cat. But if you Google,
yes,
it'll give you a list of the top 10 that
have less allergens,
aren't hairless.
Yeah.
And she popped up, or Balinese.
You didn't want a hairless cat?
Did not want a hairless cat because my sister's allergic. So we got it, and my sister can pretty much be here, and the cat's fine.
You know, they also make a new diet too for cats, and they can eat it, and it decreases their allergens like completely. Like there are some people that are horribly allergic to cats. They feed them this special food, and then they are not allergic to their cats anymore.
Oh, genius.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'll send you the link.
Maybe I need to do that.
Yeah.
So that, because my sister can mostly handle it, and it's fine, which has been great, especially when she comes to visit. Kara is hypoallergenic, so that's good about these types of dogs, and they don't shed because Josie shed everywhere.
Oh yeah.
So that's the best part, not vacuuming around her, but then her anxiety. Yeah. One day Kathy called and was like, I just got a call that this dog is tied up, and it's a Labradoodle. And if you want to foster it for a little bit and see what happens, then we can work it out.
Foster and see what happens. Famous last words.
Famous last words.
Wow. I mean, I love that too, though, because we talk about this a lot with rescues. People always think, oh, I'm going to get like a mutt or a pit bull or whatever off the streets. But like, there's so many doodles in rescue and purebred. So whatever dog you want, even if it is hypoallergenic, you can usually almost find it in a rescue setting.
Apparently, why she was tied up is the people that had her, they wanted to breed her. And so they had every intent of making her a puppy machine and then selling the puppies, but they just never got around to it. I think they were waiting for her to be old enough and all that. And then they were so busy and they didn't really care for her. So honestly, when Kathy showed up and knocked on the door and was like, I'm taking your dog, they were sort of like, okay.
Yeah, they just let her have her.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
How awful. No wonder she probably has separation anxiety.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't blame you, girlfriend. That's terrible. And now look at you. You've hit the jackpot. You're living the dream.
Just living large.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
Okay, before we dive into all things about your pets, we always start this podcast with a case of the week. I have been following the story for a couple years now and figured we would talk about the story rather than a specific case because I love it so much. Have you heard about Valerie the dachshund?
No.
Okay. Valerie the dachshund was on vacation with her parents in 2023. Her parents are Australian, and they went to an island called Kangaroo Island. And I had to look this up. I didn't know, but it's a big island off the coast of Australia, and it's really desolate. And they call it like the bush, like it's forest. No one lives there. People go there, they go camping, and then they go back to mainland Australia. So Valerie goes with her parents, Georgia and Josh, and they put her in her little pen on the campsite, and her parents go to the beach. When they come back from the beach, Valerie has escaped her pen, and she is lost on Kangaroo Island. They stay for a couple of weeks looking for her. They cannot find her. And this island is massive, like absolutely massive. There's tons of wildlife. Like it would be getting lost in like the Amazon, like very scary. So they have to go back home. Like they have to go to their jobs and back to their life. So they leave knowing that Valerie is somewhere, maybe dead, but somewhere on Kangaroo Island. And this wildlife rescue called Kongala Wildlife Rescue, they kind of get involved. They hear about Valerie. They start posting cameras randomly around the island. They set up remote controlled traps. They put cheese in the traps. They got some like t-shirts and blankets from the owners that smell like Valerie's home. A year later, maybe like 14 months later, she pops up on one of the cameras and they see her in the middle of the night, like walking around Kangaroo Island. So they were able to kind of narrow down where she was on the island, and they like kept trying to catch her. They couldn't catch her. 529 days after she went missing, they caught her, which is like 18 months, and brought her home to her parents. And this dog put on weight. She was in perfect condition, like perfectly groomed, absolutely thrived in the bush of Australia.
Wow. So what do you think it
Isn't
ate?
that crazy?
Yeah.
So they did some research and they said, we think Valerie's been eating like dead animals, like roadkill basically. And she was drinking out, there was a freshwater spring that she was drinking out of. And they think she teamed up with other wildlife. They weren't sure. There's like dingos on the island, which is like a wild dog basically. And there's like a type of fox. They were like, we think she teamed up with them and like they must have helped groom her because she was in like mint condition when they found her.
Like they would lick her and clean her. That's so cute.
Valerie thrived in the wild.
Yeah.
Her parents, her mom said this quote, which I really liked, which was, if even the smallest of sausage dogs can survive in the bush for 529 days, you too can survive whatever it is you're going through. And I just thought that was so beautiful.
I love it. Wait, what's the dog's name again?
Valerie.
Valerie.
She's an inspiration to us all.
Be a Valerie.
Be a Valerie. And I also love that when I was watching all these articles in Australia, they really don't call them dachshunds. They call them sausage dogs.
Oh, like here we call them wiener dogs. Yeah. So they call them sausage. Yeah.
Sausage dogs.
Sausage wiener.
Like, that's the cutest thing ever.
Cara ate a rabbit the other day.
Did she? This is rabbit eating season.
Oh, is it? I've never experienced that before. And I didn't handle it well.
No. I'm assuming it was a baby bunny.
I don't know. I just heard squealing, like a high pitch, like, I didn't know what was going on. And I go outside and Cara has a rabbit in her mouth. Yeah. And I start chasing her and spanking her, like, drop it. And finally I get her to drop the rabbit and the rabbit goes away. Well, I'm pretty sure she probably injured the rabbit. Mm-hmm. So then like for 48 hours, she's pacing this house. She's looking out the window.
Oh yeah.
She is like,
I'm a hunter.
Yeah, I'm a hunter. And I'm pretty sure the next time she was able to go out on her own, she found the injured rabbit.
I bet she did.
And I think the rabbit couldn't, because normally the rabbits are faster.
Oh yeah, definitely. But this one she probably
and so
did some damage.
Then that was the last of the rabbit.
This time of year, I can't tell you. I have a client probably call me once a week, usually in tears, being like, my dog has found a baby bunny nest. And they get the baby bunnies and they usually eat the bunnies, which is so gross. But
it's so gross.
It's
I know.
kind of the circle of life.
I know, but I'm like, I was like, I don't want to be a part
No.
of this circle of life.
No.
Like, this is terrible. These little bunnies are so cute. And you're
a monster.
Ate one.
My nurse, Ellen, always says, like, I want to be a part of the beginning and the middle of the circle of life, but definitely not the end because it's really sad.
No, it's sad. I mean, and she's just being a dog.
No,
but I just wish I could tell her, like, we're not going to do that. But it's also like Maggie runs around here, our cat, and she doesn't try to eat Maggie.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's probably like there's such like a prey drive in them. So when they see this teeny tiny little creature that they've never seen before running away from them, that is like immediate, like, let me get them. I feel like Maggie's like, come and get me, sister. Like, I'll
Maggie
show you.
Will straight up, she just always looks at her and goes,
yeah. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, there's some dogs that would definitely eat a cat, but I'm sure they've determined their hierarchy.
Okay. So we're good here.
I'm not messing with you.
Yeah. Because we did have a bird for about April 25th, 15, 20 days.
Oh, that was short-lived.
Yeah. Well, and I thought that Cara was going to be the
problem.
The problem. So Maggie ended up loving the bird. How weird is that? Yeah. Like, I'll show you pictures of Maggie. Like with the bird. When my daughter, it was a gift.
She was not like watching it like, oh, I love you, I want to eat you.
Well, I don't know. Stashira was like, I kind of thought that. That's my daughter. But she was like, she's not trying to do anything. And Maggie would always meow to go sit by the cage. And then like, here's a video of Maggie, like Cara's trying to come up to the bird.
Oh, wow.
And Maggie goes, oh, like, get away from my bird.
She's like, this is my bird.
Mm-hmm. But then look at she would go, my daughter was cleaning the cage and the door was open and she went and sat in the cage next to the bird.
Is this a cockatiel?
Is a parakeet.
Okay, clearly I don't know anything about birds. Wow, look at this.
Yeah.
I can't decide if she's planning her murder or if I think she really just liked it.
I mean, she would, well, and I'll go ahead and just tell you like the big part. So had a bird, obviously we had it 15, 20 days, the bird died.
Okay.
But not because of Cara or Maggie. Mm-hmm. But when the bird was dead, I mean, Maggie was almost in mourning. She would stand outside Stashira's room or sit outside and go like this meow that I had never heard before. That was like a moan, like a meow.
Like guttural sort of.
Yes. And I was like, I think she misses her little buddy. They were this odd pair where they were actually friends. But this is where the PSA comes in.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I did not buy this bird. I did not want the bird. Yeah. I mean, I wanted a bird.
Your daughter got the bird.
My daughter got the bird as a gift from her best friend for her birthday. And
wow,
she did
they
say,
ask you? Like,
yes.
Okay.
And I'm all about a bird, but I think if I had gotten the bird, and it's my responsibility. I should have done the research. But I think if I was into it and I was buying it, I would have paid attention. Like we're getting the bird. Like these are the bird do's and the bird don'ts. Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't really do all of that. And the other day I decided to burn incense like I often like to do.
Yeah.
And I do it downstairs in the living room and the bird is upstairs in my daughter's room.
Okay.
But it also never occurred to me that this would be a problem. But then when I started Googling after like the next day when I went up to her room to check on the bird when I got home from work, it was just laying at the bottom of the cage.
Just laying there.
Just like.
I don't know if it was okay. First,
I Googled it and it's like, even incense traveling from downstairs to upstairs, their respiratory systems are so sensitive. Yes. Like they don't even have they have like little
air sacs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the incense was a little too much for his air sac. His name was Chris Hemsworth. Oh. And my daughter, the crazy thing, Josie, is I had just gone home from work and I checked on the bird and it was dead. And then we get a text from my daughter that's like, hey, can you check on Chris Hemsworth for me? And I'm like, why? She's at school. Like, what do you, what? But I mean, it would have been very normal if Chris was still alive.
Right.
And I'd be like, oh yeah, I just checked on him. He's great. But all of a sudden I'm like, oh, did you just get some
like telepathy?
Yes.
Bird telepathy.
Like you're a mom bird and you're a bird mom and you're at school and some, as moms, you get this weird feeling.
Yeah.
And I was like, did she just get some weird feeling from her bird? And I didn't want to text her and tell her while she was at school. So I just said, yes, I checked on him, which I did.
Mm-hmm.
but I did not report back how he was doing.
Was she very upset?
Yeah, when she got, yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Like tears were shed.
Yeah, she doesn't, she was visibly upset. Like emotion is hard for her to show. You know, everybody's personality is a little bit different. Sure. And she's one where her sadness comes out in other ways. And I almost was trying to encourage her to use this as an opportunity to cry, because I feel like tears would be a really good release for her. Mm-hmm. And she was sort of like, we need to stop talking about it or I'm going to cry. Mm-hmm. And I used that as an opportunity to say, crying is okay. Mm-hmm. It's actually very therapeutic and could be good. So let it all out. But she sort of just powered through.
Maybe when she was like alone in her room.
Maybe.
I'm an alone crier. I understand that. Mm-hmm. Oh. I don't like to cry really in front of people. I don't know why.
So I don't like it either, but I can't control it. I just do.
Oh, no, I'll stuff those tears right back down in there. But then I get alone and I cry.
Wow.
I know. I don't know what that says about me, but.
No, I think it's just part of our personalities. But you're like a little, do you ever appointment cry?
It is very rare. I will really not, like if it's a euthanasia, I'm always like, it's not my turn to cry. I need to be strong for them. And then afterwards I'll cry when I'm alone.
Okay.
But I almost never, I can think of 1 or 2 euthanasias I've done in the last 10 years where I've cried in front of the owners.
Yeah.
It's super rare.
That's got to be really difficult I would think any, a veterinarian, a doctor, a nurse, like when you have to, what do y'all call it? Your bedside manner?
Yeah. It's sad. I mean, gosh, it's sad. Just, you know, when I'm doing it, I'm like, okay, I know it's the right thing to do. Of course, like I wouldn't be doing the euthanasia if I didn't feel 100% about it. So it's not that's sad. It's watching the owners be so devastated. Like it's just hard to watch, you know?
Yeah.
But it's also a privilege.
I did euthanasia on the bird.
Did you?
Well,
okay.
Indirectly.
With the incense. I'm like, what?
No.
Wait, so did you bury Chris?
Well, he's in a box.
Okay.
We have him in a box that I ordered. He's all wrapped up, and we are going to bury him. But it was wet, and I didn't want the ground to be wet. Like I want the ground to be dry for a couple of days, so we can get him in there real good. I get nervous about other pets digging him up. So, do you know how deep we need to go?
I would like get a couple feet down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd be digging a heck of a hole. I probably would go at least a foot.
Okay, so then I'll. Thank you for that advice. We'll do that. And then I went on Amazon and you can order these little rocks. They'll customize it for you.
Like little animal tombstones.
Yes. Yeah. So with my daughter, we did it together and we picked out a little parakeet. And so they, etched that into the rock. And then we put R.I.P. Chris Hemsworth.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
April 2025 to May 2025.
Chris, you weren't here long, but you made quite an impression.
Yeah. So we ordered that and it's going to come in the mail and then we'll put it in the yard.
That'll be nice. You'll have like a little ceremony. I had a funeral for my bunny rabbit who I only had for a month when I was younger. And I didn't go to school for like 2 weeks after that bunny's funeral. I was pretty torn up about it.
Oh gosh. Yeah. What happened to the bunny?
She had a heart attack. Bunnies have heart attacks.
Did your mom burn some incense?
Because maybe she did. Lisa, is there something you want to tell me? No, I think, the bunny had a heart attack. Bunnies will the wind will blow the wrong way and they'll have a heart attack.
Well, let me ask you this about the parakeet. Because Maggie was spending so much time next to it, I wonder if that was stressful on the parakeet, even though Maggie wasn't doing anything. Do you think the bird was stressed and maybe had a heart attack?
It's possible.
We're going to go with that. We're going to go with that.
I don't think you killed this bird. I would be shocked if the incense did it. My guess is that did it come from a pet store?
Yes.
A lot of times they'll come with like a virus or something along those lines. Or it was stress. Like it would be really unlikely, I think, that the incense killed Chris.
Okay. Well, this is very, okay. Yeah. I know that I told you I Googled it, but you are the professional. So I'm going to take your advice. I think it just was such a coincidence that what's something that can randomly kill a bird, and it listed out and there's incense right in the list of things, and I had just burned that, and I do burn it often but not every day, so it's like
But had you burned it at all while Chris lived here?
No, just that one time. Okay. And then Chris ended up dead the next day. So
I guess I suppose it could be, but if it was in a separate room, I think it's much more likely that it was something else.
Okay.
So maybe it's Maggie.
So it's the stress. Maybe the dog. And sometimes Cara would get in there and rustle the cage.
It's a lot. They're fragile creatures. Birds are fragile. Rodents are fragile. like bunnies, guinea pigs,
Hamsters.
hamsters. Yeah, all those things.
Have
your kids had any of those?
No.
Okay. You had hamsters?
A lot as kids. Like or me and my sister, when we were kids, we had them.
I loved it. Hamsters growing up. I
Yeah.
really love rodents, which is such a weird thing to say.
Yeah, well, I think
But they're the
hamsters are so
best.
cute.
They
I don't
are.
like rats with a tail. Like I don't.
Rats are so smart, and they're great pets.
Okay. Like, do you like
You should get your daughter a rat.
but with the tail?
And we can name him Liam Hemsworth.
Liam. Yeah. Yeah, this is
This is
Chris's brother.
Chris's
I'll get her a
brother.
hamster. I can get a rat as long as it doesn't have a tail. I can't handle the tail.
I think they all have tails.
Well, then we need to.
And no rat it is. Maybe a
Well,
guinea.
you know, like Josie was a Rottweiler,
Yeah.
and sometimes they would have tails and sometimes they didn't.
That's true.
So what is that called? When you give them a little nub?
Well, that's when you dock their tail, which is now
that
very frowned
cruel?
upon. Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
She was dropped off at my church.
Like it wasn't me.
It was a rescue.
Yeah. No, and some some Rottweilers are born with the nub. Like they're not even docked. Sometimes they just genetically have the nub.
Oh,
So maybe she wasn't even docked, but
so that's frowned upon. Is clipping the ears frowned upon?
Yes.
Oh.
and declawing cats.
Oh.
It's kind of like giving your
Oh, it's terrible.
dog or cat a boob job.
Who would do that? Well, I only did it to her front two paws.
I mean, the internet trolls are going to come
Yeah.
out after this episode.
Well, she has the back two claws.
there you go. She's got some fighting for her.
Yeah.
I mean, the reality is she's not going to be going out into the wild
She's
and
not.
hunting her food,
She's
and
not.
it spares your furniture.
Spares my furniture.
But-
That was the whole
Yeah.
point. And my arms. Honestly, yeah.
This is from
Like,
a cat
look,
this
that
morning.
is from her back paw.
Yeah,
So I know that it's not right, but
but here we are, and she's
Here-
living a good life.
here we are.
And maybe your next cat will
Okay.
keep her toenails.
Maybe. Well, I bought those in all fairness before I did it. I looked into those little caps
Yeah,
that
the
you
soft
put on.
paws, yeah.
And they're colorful and it looks
They're
like
really
they have their
cute.
nails done. They're so cute.
Yeah, the gel nails.
Mhm. I did
love
that
them.
for a little bit. And then it was,
They're kind of a pain in the butt, but
Both
they are
are-
so cute.
they're so cute. Yeah.
You can also get special scratchers too that like pull them too, like with pheromones on them, so that they scratch that and not your furniture.
Oh, okay. That would have been good. Oh, well, I already did it.
Yeah, it's.
I can't dwell on it.
Call me on your next kitty,
Mhm.
and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I'll call you on the next kitty.
Did you have dogs and cats growing up?
I did. Yeah.
Oh, like so you've been around them
Dogs,
forever.
cats. I had a bird. It died. I think of a heart attack. Well, I put Christmas lights on its cage.
Mhm.
And our cat would play with the Christmas lights. And I think it was swinging the cage back and forth. And then the bird, like one day,
Like,
was
I'm
just
done.
like, I've had
What
enough.
was his name?
I don't remember.
Okay,
I don't even remember what it was, but
He's like, I'm out of here.
yeah. And then I know I had a hamster named Snowflake. It was white, and Cornflake. It was brown.
That's great. I love
Um,
that. Snowflake and cornflake.
Yeah.
I had a turtle named Fluffy at one point.
Oh
and
yeah, I had turtle.
Fluffy went missing. 8 months later, this is crazy. It's kind of like Valerie on Kangaroo Island. Fluffy went missing, and one night my brother and I were laying in his room, and we hear this, and Fluffy was under his bed.
Shut up.
Found him 8 months later,
What was Fluffy surviving on?
alive and well. No idea. Couldn't tell you. The great mystery of Fluffy. That's crazy, isn't it?
Wow. And y'all never saw Fluffy.
For 8 months.
How long can turtles go without eating?
I don't know a dang thing about turtles, to be honest.
Oh.
I'm a mammalian girl, so I don't know
So you don't work
anything
with
about them.
reptiles?
No, I don't know anything. I have no idea how Fluffy lived. We still talk about it as a
That's
family.
so interesting too that it was a turtle named Fluffy.
Yeah, I know. My brother named it. I'm like, this is stupid, but
It's like a hard shell.
it is. I'm like, clearly not Fluffy. He thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And Fluffy was a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Are you more of a cat person or a dog person?
That's so hard for me to pick because I love them both, but I'm both.
Do you think you as a person, because I feel like people have cat energy or dog energy? I kind of feel like you're like a golden retriever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or do you think you're more
Honestly,
of a cat?
I can be a little bit of both. I mean, maybe a cat. I have to be really extrovert for my job.
Mhm.
And so then I need to recover.
Alone.
And so I do a lot of alone time recovery.
Yeah. I get that.
So maybe that makes me more of a cat
Maybe.
because I'll come out when I need to come out.
Yeah.
And then,
You'll put it on when you
I
need
ha-
to.
but I have to have my
Alone time.
recovery time. And it was real confusing for me too, trying to figure out because so many people would label me as an extrovert. And
Mhm.
I was just conflicted with that because I was like, I don't feel that way.
I'm the
But I
exact
also don't
same.
feel like an introvert. So I think they call that an ambivert or
Yes,
something.
I'm the exact same way. I recharge being alone, like laying in my bed, reading a book, but I can be very social.
Yes.
So it is.
But I'm not
confusing.
like I don't know if you know your Enneagram number. Do
I'm a
you?
3.
You're 3. Okay. Same. But I have 2 good friends that are 7s, and I am like, I don't like. They have the 7 energy.
I
Like
cannot.
they always want something on their calendar.
Yes.
They love getting together.
Oh.
If they don't have anything to look forward to, why are they even living?
Right.
And I'm like, I don't have anything on my calendar. Thank God.
Best day of my life.
Yes.
Or I have to do something tonight. I need to like prepare myself. Like I need to sit in bed for an hour beforehand.
Mm-hmm. Or I'm like, shoot, I committed to this when I had energy.
Yes, exactly. Oh, that's a grave mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I will make plans when I'm like, yes, I'm feeling social. And then the day comes and I'm like, what have I done?
My extrovert self made the plans and then my introvert's going to show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you see my cat coffee mug?
I do. I think you're a cat, actually.
Well, my friend gave it to me. It says cat person.
That's
so
cute.
maybe this is our answer.
I think this is a sign.
I'm a cat person.
You're a cat lady.
Yeah.
And how do your kids do? Like, do they help with the pets or are you the ones? Like,
I mean, I ultimately take care of them, even though they're the ones that wanted it. Like they wanted the dog so bad after Josie died. So we adopted our kids. They came to live with us late December and then Josie died in February.
Okay.
So it was like, welcome. And they were old. Like we didn't adopt them as babies. My son was 7 and my daughter was 11 or 10, about to turn 11.
Yeah.
So they knew the dog.
Yep.
They were excited about the dog. It was like, welcome to your new home. This is your dog. And then she died pretty suddenly. Like we weren't expecting her death. She got cancer and it was just, we had to put her down.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty hard to explain to them, especially they didn't know English that well.
Right.
We're like,
that's tough.
Dog, no more.
Yeah.
No more dog.
Dog to heaven.
Dog, heaven. New dog.
Yeah.
And so they really wanted a new dog. They couldn't wait. And then we got her. They are all in a little bit, but then
I feel like every mom listening to this is probably like, yep, tale as old as time. The kids want the pets, we get the pets, and mom takes care of the dogs.
Yeah. And my daughter wanted the cat. I mean, I wanted the cat too, let's be honest, but it was her birthday present.
Okay.
Like we obviously, I'm not going to go through all that if I don't want the cat too.
Right.
So I was very excited about the cat, but when we flew to get it, like it was a whole thing and she was very into it. And it was a cute little kitten. And then now has she ever changed the litter? I don't know. But I also like the litter to be done right.
Oh, like a right way. Like
I'm very
clean.
Particular.
Okay.
And yes, I like that situation to be tidy and I just don't trust the kids, which I should coach them and guide them, I think. But also we're trying to coach and guide in other areas where I'm like, really, I'll handle the litter.
Battles.
Right. It's like, fine.
The litter, that's like the bottom of the totem pole. What, do you have a fancy litter box for her?
So we started off with a litter robot and she, I think, is like part of the 1% of cats that couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I was so bummed because I was so pumped for this litter robot and I hated it. It was the death of me. I was like, she had like stuff, bathroom all over her.
Yep.
And I kept having to bathe her.
Yep.
And I was like, finally, I put it on Facebook Marketplace. I sold it. And I just got a regular old plastic box with a plastic bag in it.
It's kind of crazy how particular. A lot of cats are really picky about like the type of litter, the litter box setup. If you move the litter box from like one area in the room to another area in the room, it can like really throw off their routine.
Oh.
Especially these long-haired gals, because Maggie has long, beautiful hair, and they, I don't know why, but they get poop on their fur, which they're more prone to doing. They like can really be thrown off.
That's what she was doing with the litter robot. Yes. But with the OG litter box,
totally fine.
The good old plastic bin, she is fine. And we use Pretty Litter.
Oh, okay. Yep.
The clear little.
Yeah.
If there's something better, let me know.
I like Pretty Litter. I would just say I like it if your cat has a lot of urinary issues, especially like male kitties that have urinary stuff. But honestly, a lot of times I have clients call me and they're like, my Pretty Litter is pink or purple or whatever it means when it's not a normal color and nothing's wrong.
Oh, I don't really
look at it that
use
way.
It for that. I mean, I know I check if something looks a little weird and there's a little chart on the back, but I'm not. I just like that it's like pretty little.
It is pretty
crystals.
Yeah, it's nice. It's pretty. Like, and if your cat likes it, great, go for it. But I'm not like every cat needs to be on Pretty Litter because, like, medically speaking, it doesn't really sway much of what I do.
Okay.
They can eat something and it can change the pH of their urine and then cause it to change a color, and people will get really freaked out by that. And I'm like, don't worry. This litter is causing you more anxiety than not. So if you're not like stressed about it, I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. I'm thinking of like her when she's in the litter box and then she comes into my bed. Like I do have to put that out of my mind.
Yeah.
Like their paws, are they like I see her licking it, but then I hear their mouths are not that clean. So then what's going on? Sometimes though, when I get out of the shower, I'll find her. She'll go into my bathroom and get in the shower and kind of get in the water and then clean herself.
Yeah. You know, it's like, this is such a great question. You have your dogs that also go out in the yard. I mean, they're probably at some point stepping in an area they've peed or pooped.
Or other dogs.
Or other dogs, yeah. I know. I don't think about it.
Okay, so we're just not supposed to think about it because will cuddle, like I said, she'll come with and cuddle up with me at night. And I just have to ignore the fact that maybe she was just all up in her litter box.
Yeah.
And then Cara will want to hop on the bed, which I now let her, but only because I put like a blanket down that I'll wash more regularly because I don't want to wash my duvet cover
all the time.
Yeah. But so
That's
the blanket seems easier. And I also have a blanket on the couch on like a part of the couch she tends to get on a lot. Now, a solution would be like she's just not allowed on the couch.
Yeah.
But I don't mind, but it's like, should our pets be on our stuff, or is that just making everything really disgusting, or do we just not think about it?
I think that they too, grooming, like, yes, their mouth isn't the cleanest thing in the world. Would I let my dog like go stick its tongue in my baby's mouth? No. But they are like, they do clean themselves. And so I don't think they're like walking parasites by any means. It's like your toddler goes to daycare and they've probably got every germ under the sun, and we still hug them, love them, kiss them, and let them sit on our couch. So I don't know. I'm of the mindset I let them onto my furniture. But I do think like if you want to put a blanket down and wash that regularly, that's very reasonable.
Okay.
If they have like behavioral issues, then maybe you don't want to let them do that. But I don't know. My pets are pretty good. So I let them come up and hang out with me, and I put a blanket down, and I try not to think too much about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm alone a lot. I don't know that I should say that. I'm never alone. I always have people at my house. But especially just getting, you know, and my kids go to their dad's house. And so the dog was going back and forth. So when the kids went, the dog would go with, because she also will sleep with my son a lot of the nights.
Was part of like the joint custody situation. Okay.
And then we just realized that we didn't think it was good for the dog anymore because her behavior, we were trying to really get that under control. And so.
Yeah, that can be a lot for them. Was there ever a point where he was like, I want to keep one of these dogs or cats? Or you were like, no. Like,
well, he didn't want the cat.
Okay.
He did not. He was like, cat is yours. Maggie. We are good.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think for him, he travels more. And so he's like, I mean, travels on the week. He doesn't have the kids. So then if he were to have the dog, like that wouldn't really work out. So I think it just naturally fell on me. Plus, like, I like having her here and the cat. Like, it's very comforting. And so that's why I like them being in my bed or on the couch. Like,
Absolutely.
It's just feels more cozy.
They're your buddies.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I totally get it. My husband travels all the time, and having my dogs, like, just being there with you, even though we're at home wanting to be alone, it's nice to just like have that.
Yeah, you don't have
emotional
to talk.
support. Yeah.
Right.
We don't have to talk. They like to watch what I like to watch. It's perfect.
It's perfect.
What about, I've seen Maggie lately has been like such a little troublemaker with your treadmill.
Oh gosh.
What happened with that?
I don't know what her deal is with that, but anytime I go get on the treadmill, she will hop up and she just wants to be right there with me. And I'm like, why do you ignore me again all
Terrible
day?
Timing.
But then when I get on a treadmill, you want to be right there. And, you know, she'll walk back and forth and there's a stop button. And so I'll be in the group, and then her paw will go right on the stop so you can stop the treadmill fast. And then all of a sudden I'm like abruptly stopping, and I'm like, Maggie, you got to chill out. And then, yes, one time she was sitting, I have one of those, a tray that I set across the treadmill so I can put my computer up because I like to walk and work. But not fast. I mean, I'm walking at like,
I get it,
2.0 or something.
Yeah.
But the plastic thing is what she likes to lay on. And so I wasn't working at this point, but I was walking more rapidly and had it on an incline, and the incline went up, and then she slid right off the plastic thing and then onto the
and tumbled down.
Yeah, but
is she still getting back up after that?
She wasn't impacted. No, yeah, she still gets back up there.
Unfazed.
She was unfazed.
Okay,
she was like Probably like, that was fun.
She's like, again, the other thing that I saw that she did, which I've had my other patients do, is she gets into your dryer.
Yes,
That's
that's
really scary.
new. I did post about that on Instagram because I was like, this is dangerous. Like because I have wool dryer balls.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm used to hearing the tumbling of those.
Yep.
So I don't know. Hopefully she would go, "Meow." But if you're doing other things or you're in another room, I don't know that I would hear that. And that would be so scary. And that's the first time I've ever caught her in there.
I have had clients turn it on with their cats in there, and they don't make it. No, they don't make it.
Oh,
like,
that would be terrible.
Terrible. So I would tell your kids too, like, if you're ever turning the dryer on, look in there before you turn it on.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's so sad. But I just saw that. I'm like, oh, I have to tell Amy.
No, I mean, I think that's why, I posted it too. Like, it was sort of cute, but then also it was like, don't you know this is dangerous?
Yeah.
And it's just a reminder because I don't
you
always
wouldn't think
look.
about it. No, my gosh. I don't have cats, so I just like throw everything in, turn the dryer on. I would never think twice. But if you have cats and you're listening, check your dryer before you turn it on for sure.
Yeah, check your dryer. They do love like little nooks though. Like that's the thing. If I leave anything open,
they love
like
to hide. That's like the dryers, like they're, especially a front load dryer, they love them.
Yeah, I had a drawer open, I guess, at one point, and she went and got into the drawer, and then we closed it, and I had no idea she was in the drawer, and we could not find her for the longest time. And sure enough,
she's like,
we opened up the drawer, and then she's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like you would have been stuck there."
Yeah, cats are crazy. Mm-hmm. I love it. What's going on with why is Morgan laughing at me?
Oh, I know.
What do you say, drawer?
She's laughing at my speech impediment.
I say drawer.
Drawer?
Drawer. Okay.
Yeah. It's W's.
R is
W's are weird for me. So
I like that.
Also I say crown weird. Crown. Like Crayola crown.
Yeah. Oh, crown.
Crown.
Wow.
But I know it's crown.
Yeah.
And drawer. What do you say?
Drawer. Drawer. Like the way you're saying it is like Dwight. Dwarf.
But I'm saying drawer. Drawer. So it's
drawer.
So W's are W's and R's. Like if I have to ever say real world.
Yeah.
I had to really think that through. Like if I'm at work.
You had to really think that through.
I have to really think that through.
Okay. Did you have that as a child?
I think so. It's just always, I only would notice it if I have to say particular things. Obviously I've said drawer.
Yeah. Drawer.
So I can't.
I'm dying over this.
Drawer. And I don't notice it until people point it out.
Yeah.
Like Morgan. But it's okay. Bobby does it all the time. He'll be like, what? Crown? Drawer? I'm like, sorry, that's just how I say it. Or on the Bobby Bone Show for years, I did endorsements for, wait for it. I got it. West Rock Coffee. West Rock.
West Rock Coffee.
Can you say West Rock?
West
no
Rock.
Problem.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I have to like. I mean,
it's really hard.
I would
for
be
you.
doing a 30-second read, and it would take me
the West Walk world.
Right. I would have to say like, go to westrockcoffee.com. It was bad.
Oh, that is hilarious. We were like having a conversation. I just hear Morgan going, like chuckling. I'm like, what is going on over here? Oh, that is so funny. Your kids don't have any W's or R's.
No.
Like that.
No.
Like you spared yourself.
Yeah. But they're, somehow there are little things they pick up from me, but they're not biologically mine.
But their names aren't like W or R's.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's
what you mean? Like, no.
Okay.
No, I don't have to call. It's not like,
Imagine if it was like
Warren and Wendell.
Warren Wendell.
It'd have to be like two W. It's normally if there's a W and an R together, like drawer. See?
Dwarf.
It's not.
I'm dying.
It's not just W. Like I can say, window.
Right. It's the R and the W. That makes sense.
It's a struggle.
Okay, back to Kawa. She has a bump on her, you said?
Yeah, she has a few.
Okay.
The one on her like neck.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like her neck.
Like her trapezius.
Wow. Yeah. Her trapezius, her scapula.
Her scapula.
Her little shoulder blade.
Mm-hmm. That's the biggest one.
Okay.
And it's very hard. and about the size of a golf ball.
Yeah, I think so. You pointed it out to me before we started and I felt it. And what I was saying is like, did they test it? And I always talk about this. I think I've talked about this 100 times now on this podcast and probably on social media. But when our pets have a new bump on them, we can take, while they're wide awake, just take a teeny tiny little needle, stick it into the growth, pull some cells out, look under the microscope. And if it's like a benign fatty growth, it's usually just a bunch of fat cells. And we don't worry about it too much. If there's like some other more questionable cells on there, then it tells us, hey, okay, this could be a problem and we should take it off surgically and send it in for biopsy. So,
okay. So I need to say specifically, like,
yes, I would aspirate it is the fancy term.
Mm-hmm. But that's not going to like pop it.
No. I know it seems like it would pop, but it doesn't.
So it's not like one day, I just keep picturing like one day she's just going to be in the kitchen and it's just going to like pop and stuff's going to gush everywhere.
It does feel like it's like a balloon almost, like it's going to pop. And maybe sometimes if it's a cyst, they'll rupture. But in her case, no, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's not a cyst.
I don't know for sure without poking it, but I don't think so.
Okay, but it could just be fatty benign cells.
Yes, yep. The fancy term is a lipoma.
Could just be lipoma. And then if it's
benign fatty growth.
If it's a benign fatty growth, that's a lipoma. What if it's not? What if it's a bad?
If it's not, then it technically could be something cancerous. And the good news about skin cancers in dogs is we take them off surgically and they usually do great.
Okay, so that would just be considered a skin cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's not like
it's a tumor.
Okay.
So melanoma or any kind of like a basal cell, like the normal tumors in skin that humans get.
Yeah.
So can be a skin tumor just like us, but we,
on
take
her
it off.
epidermis.
Yeah, on her epidermis. Oh my gosh. You're basically a vet.
Basically. Went to med school. My trapezius and my epidermis.
I'm like, well, look at you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we remove them. And most of the time, skin tumors in dogs, like 90% of the time, they don't metastasize or go elsewhere. So once you take it off, they usually do really well.
Okay. Because I was thinking, well, what if it shows up like somewhere else?
Yeah. That would be unlikely. But I mean, definitely, I'm such a nerd. And I said this in one of the podcasts this season, but I always say, why wait, aspirate. So aspirate it and figure out what it is.
Why wait, aspirate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good saying. It could save some dogs' lives.
It saves lives.
Because owners could be like, okay, why wait? We got to aspirate.
Exactly.
Could it be ever that the skin part is metastasized from somewhere else? Like say she maybe has a liver cancer happening and now it's popping up on her skin.
It can happen. It's really unlikely.
Okay.
Most of the time we call it wherever it originates from, that's the primary tumor. Most of the time the primary tumor is the skin. It would be really unlikely for it to be elsewhere and then go to her skin.
Okay.
So she should be fine, but I always say check it out. And even lipomas, like they are benign, but if they continue to grow or they get in an area, like sometimes they can make it hard for them to walk, I'll say let's just take it off.
Okay.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah. Better safe than sorry. Why wait? Aspirate. Yeah. Could be lipoma, but we don't know. So
it's basically a rappa. She also, I remember one of the first times we had talked was she had a hematoma. Wow, look at us. A hematoma.
What was that similar?
That was her. No, that was totally different. She had, remember her ear?
Oh my gosh. Yes. To those little, that was weird.
Yes. Hematoma, for those listening, is usually dogs with longer ears. They'll get an ear infection. They'll shake, flop their head all around. And then all these little blood vessels will burst in their ear and their ear will like get a big pocket of blood in them. And it's such a pain in the butt to try and heal them. You usually have to like fix them surgically, which she had done.
Which is what, And then she had stitches in her.
All over her like little ear flap.
Yes.
But then she healed up okay.
Yeah. Looked like she had the cauliflower ear for a little bit.
They look wonky.
Yeah. But then the hair grew and covered it.
Yeah. And then they're totally fine. So I remember that.
Yeah, she's better now. I forgot about that. Good memory.
Yeah. I was sitting in an airport and you're like, hello, this is Amy. My dog has a fat sack in her ear.
Yeah. I also had to call you that one time she ate chocolates that also had some mushrooms in it.
Yes. I remember this. I'm like, are we going to say this on air?
Well, so I will. My sister lives in Colorado and whatever this like chocolate mushroom concoction thing was, it's from Colorado. So I don't know if it's legal in Tennessee, but it's legal there.
Yeah.
And her friend who is a Shama type person, like all of this was given responsibly.
Right.
I hadn't even opened it.
No.
Like I'd had it for so long and I never even opened it because I always felt weird about it. And I'm like, I want your Shama person to be like with me because I felt like I was going to eat the chocolate and like have some crazy trip. So I never even opened it. And it was in my bathroom, sort of tucked back. It sort of just kind of got put in this little box like there. Well, I left my bathroom door or cabinet door open and I would think I was late to work. So I didn't close it and ran out. And when I got home, I see it was in a gold wrapper, of course, with like
There's
moons
no
and stars.
Worse feeling just being like, oh no.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh my gosh, she ate the like
mushroom bar,
mushroom laced chocolate.
And it had been, we always tell owners, I mean, if you're ever worried about this and you don't know what to do, I tell owners, call the ASPCA poison control hotline. You can Google it. It will pop right up. If you are like Amy and you can call your friend that's a vet, do that. But I think it had been a while, so we weren't able to really do anything. And she had a great nap. Didn't she like sleep?
She was pretty chill.
Mm-hmm. She was like, this is awesome.
She was like, oh, is this a little ketamine situation? Like, I don't know. Like she never, I can't remember if there was some heavy breathing because we've had a couple of chocolate episodes where she'll just breathe heavy.
Yeah.
You know, sort of like she's just panting.
Yeah.
And then she'll eventually maybe throw up or
we have a special calculation we can do where we can like see what kind of chocolate it is. Is it dark chocolate? What % dark chocolate? How much does the pet weigh? And we can know like if it's a toxic amount or not. In her case with the mushroom bar, it was not a toxic amount, but I was like, she's probably
I know, but I'm like, do we know how to
the nap of a lifetime?
I'm like, do we know how to measure the mushroom?
We
like,
do not know how to measure the mushroom. I had a friend, speaking of mushrooms, and this is not about animals at all, but it made me think of it. He had a mushroom bar in his house and his nephews were coming over. We're in first grade. So he put them up high. They're 2 twin boys and they spent the night. The next morning, one of the twins comes down and he's usually like really quiet and he was super duper chatty. And then the other twin comes down and says, Uncle Jake, he ate your chocolate bar. My brother ate your chocolate bar. And he was like, and the 7-year-old ate like half of a mushroom bar. And he was like so worried about him. But the little boy went to sleep. He woke up a couple hours later and he went to check on him. He was like, how you doing, bud? And he was like, you know what, Uncle? I have never felt better. Yeah. It's like, okay.
Probably had his brain had a little healing. Like took a little nap and you know, that's it. I mean, I've done a guided ketamine thing with a therapist and the way it was described to me and I really felt that in my brain. And again, I was with this was in the state of Tennessee, very legal, everything.
Yes.
So it's different than mushroom chocolate, but I did take a 3-hour nap and you wake up and what's happening in there is you go on a journey.
Yeah.
Like I was seeing weird things. Like my sister was a frog and all this stuff. But it's like a little dustbuster is going into your brain. And like if there's a bunch of cobwebs and it's like sucking stuff up. Like I had less anxiety. I wasn't overthinking. Like I was like, oh, some people just operate like this.
Yeah.
And my therapist was like, yeah. And I'm like, so you just kind of give your brain a new baseline. And I'm like, wow, my brain has not felt this calm in a long time.
How interesting. I know like ketamine's becoming way more mainstream with anxiety and people, you know, we use it a lot in animals.
Well,
not
isn't
for those
that
purposes.
What you use for anesthesia?
We use it a lot. Yeah, it helps. It's like a tranquilizer basically, and it's got some like pain properties too. So yeah, we use it a lot in veterinary medicine. In fact, ketamine, when not used with human doctors, can be used as a recreational drug on the streets. And a lot of people will, this is terrible, but steal it from veterinary clinics to sell it on the street.
Oh,
it's a lot easier to sell.
That's terrible. I would not recommend buying it on the street, but yeah,
definitely not.
Yeah, I think not that dentists have access to ketamine, but how are y'all regulated? I guess I'm just asking because I've heard that like some people will get into dentistry because the regulations are not as strict as like doctors and nurses and they have access to certain meds and then they can get them.
Oh, wow.
And they don't have to like, you know how like, I don't know if you have to enter in, like if you're pulling out a med, you have to go into this locker almost and enter a code. Like some doctors, that's what they have to do. So everything is accounted for.
Yeah.
And I heard about this from someone that dated a dentist who had addiction problems.
Okay.
But it was like they specifically went into that profession so that they could have easy access to that stuff, which I'm like, that's scary.
That's a lot of school to just have easier access to drugs. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe we're not as tightly regulated at a hospital setting, like putting your fingerprint in and all that whatnot, but we are really regulated with the DEA. So I have a DEA license.
Wow.
I order all of my meds, through the DEA, any like Schedule II drugs. So we're tightly regulated. Oh. They watch us like hawks.
So does like a undercover DEA agent ever show up with like a pet?
He's like ABC here when
like
do you
Chris
have your
Hansen?
license? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they've never done it with me. But they'll audit you for sure. So we have to keep like a really strict logbook of all of our controlled drugs, because if you have any controlled drugs that are not accounted for, you could lose your DEA license for sure.
Wow, I had no idea you have a DEA license.
Yeah, so we have to be really mindful of that. And I'll fill a lot of prescriptions at human pharmacies too. So I'll call them because all the medications are the same. So I'll call in, like if Cara had, a UTI, I could call in an antibiotic for her to CVS, and they'll ask me for my DEA number. That way they can track me in the system as a physician.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. But we can't, it's not advised to ever take, like if say Cara did have a UTI and then there's like leftover medication for some reason. And then one day I'm like, oh, I have a UTI. Like I shouldn't.
The doses are probably very different.
Okay. Or if she has anxiety.
You're like, should I take a little? I would ask your human doctor.
Yeah. Just kidding. I don't take that.
Yeah.
I have. There's been a time where I took certain things, but I not anymore. So that was a little.
Yeah, but it is people
dog
always
human medicine joke.
Shocked to hear that it's the same stuff, because it is. All of it's like pretty much the same. So Maggie's looking so cute right now. She's sitting like a little loaf of bread.
Yeah, I love when cats sit like bread. That's where they tuck their and they do. They look like a loaf of bread, and it's the cutest thing. And of course, whenever I want to do that, because I see people do cute little Instagram posts of their cat like that. And then if I were to get out the camera and try to do it, she'd be like,
no. The second they see the camera, they know. They're like, I'm out. All right. We are back with Paw and Order. Here are 3 things I would never do with my own pets as a veterinarian. Number 1, this is inspired by our good friend, Bobby Bones. I would not forget to watch my pets poop. Stanley and Eller are living the dream. But as you may know, Stanley's got some like intestinal things going on. And so Stanley and Eller have like free run of the yard, and they have a doggy door. And I never know. I need to know, like, is Stanley having diarrhea or not? Like, how is his poop looking? And Bobby's like, I don't know. He just goes in the yard and like lets it go whenever he has to. I'm like, I need you to go out and look at his poop for me. So now Caitlin is sending me videos, like zoomed in videos of Stanley's butt while he's pooping, which I very greatly appreciate. But I just think it's so important as an owner to be watching your animals when they poop and use the bathroom, because that really gives you like a good read on how they are doing and if they're healthy or not.
Yeah. So just this morning, I had Cara on a walk.
Okay.
And I was picking up her poop, and it was full of birdseed.
Oh, great.
So I know that. And then I was like, how did she get into the birdseed? Because I have birdseed in my garage that I put out for my birds, because I was
like, was this Chris's leftovers?
No, this is like my birdseed for my wild birds outside, because I love to have my little bird visitors. But it was full of seed, but that was the indicator to me, oh, she must have ripped a hole in one of the bags. And sure enough, I got home, I went to the garage, and there is about a hole the size of her mouth right in one of the bags. And so I was able to seal it up. But thankfully I paid attention, because that was an indicator, or she would have ended up probably eating the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of bird watching, because I am also a big bird lover, do you have the Merlin app?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, you leave the app open and it listens to the birds chirping and it tells you what birds you're listening to.
Yeah. I have little bird collars.
Do you?
I have the apps. I play bird bingo.
What's a bird collar?
Well, you can get these little collars and you blow.
No. Are you in the yard calling for birds?
Yeah. I want them to come.
I need to see a video of this.
Yeah. Well, I was especially into that when I was playing bird bingo, because there were certain birds I was like trying to get them to come, because I was like, I haven't seen this kind yet or this kind yet. And I
for making your calls.
And then the bird seed that I got, Lunchbox actually gave it to me as a gift. He ordered it from somebody he saw on Shark Tank, where they will put together custom mixes for your zip code. So that way you can feed the ones that are in your area.
This is amazing.
Isn't that thoughtful?
Amazing. Yeah. What a great gift.
Mm-hmm.
The other sorry, we're going to go down a rabbit hole here and I'm going to pull us back out of it in a second. But the other really cool thing that I just learned is one of my best friends, she's also my nurse that I work with. Her name's Ellen. Her like goal right now is to befriend a crow. Did you know that crows?
Very smart.
Very smart. And they will remember you and they'll bring you trinkets.
Yes.
So there's like a whole Reddit page of people that have a crow friend, and the crows will bring them like little shiny gadgets that they find out and about.
It's my dream. Yeah, no, my sister and I a long time ago we have a nonprofit. We haven't done anything with it, but it's a 501c3 formed, ready to go. We've done little things through it, but nothing like what we've dreamt up. But it's called Joy Crow. And we studied all about the crow.
There is no time like the present. Let's get Joy Crow going.
Crow. Yeah. And it's a double meaning, like the crow, because the crow actually is very smart. And so many people dismiss it as like
crows. Yeah.
But it's actually
genius.
A very beautiful bird. And it can also be like a cry, like a crow, like you're, I don't know, crying for joy.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, like
joy
crowing. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
fellow bird lovers, love that. Okay, number 2, I would not anesthetize my pets just because they are old. I can't tell you how many times I hear owners come in and they say, oh, well, we can't do this dental or we can't do that because my pet's so old. And I would say to that age is not a disease. And usually this is with dentals because a lot of our older pets have bad teeth and we'll recommend doing a dental on them. And I understand people being nervous because their pets are a little bit older, but the benefit greatly outweighs the risk.
Okay.
And we anesthetize older patients all the time. And if you think about it, the majority of humans that are undergoing anesthesia on a regular basis are going to be our older population, and they all tend to usually do very well. So if they're alive, if their blood work looks good and your vet is recommending it, I would go forward with it, because if they have like a rotten tooth in there, that can be really ouchy. And while they're here, I want them to be comfortable.
Right. Okay. Or just feed them some mushroom chocolate.
Or just give them a little mushroom.
Just kidding.
I did not recommend that.
No.
Okay. Last but not least, don't forget to put sunscreen on your dog if they don't have long hair.
Oh,
especially. Or in my case, the reason I'm saying this is my little Saya, the one that I brought home from Mexico. She loves to lay in the sun, and her belly's like basically bald. She doesn't have a lot of hair on it, and she sunburnt her belly last week laying in the sunshine.
Okay.
I know. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So sunscreen on their bellies. Also dogs that have don't have a lot of a lot of hair on their nose, like the bridge of their nose. You can put it on their nose because they'll burn their nose too.
Okay.
But really it's for like the big sunbathers.
Yeah, I was thinking like my dog's probably good because she's totally covered. Fine. But yeah, I can imagine. Especially, I mean, you mentioned melanoma earlier.
Yeah.
So dogs can get melanoma.
Yeah, they can. Usually that's not like linked to sun exposure like it is in humans, but still sunscreen on them. I mean, like Saya has like brown spots, like sunspots on her belly from laying in the sun. So
gosh,
I know.
Hey, paw in order.
Paw in order, honey. I think it gives people anxiety, but my next season, I think I'm going to make paw in order be what you should do. Because, like the what not to do. I'm like, is this?
Oh, yeah. Like we should be more about what we're for, not what we're against.
Exactly. So the first 3 seasons
like the energy
have been real Debbie Downers, but season 4, stay tuned because it's going to be, this is what we should do.
What we should do. How long should, I have a question regarding that and then we can, call it a day. But like how long, like Kara's 9 and it's starting to heat up. But I always wonder, like, we don't have a fenced in yard, so I take her on walks. And I always debate, like, am I giving her enough exercise? So is there like a goal? And I know it doesn't have to be all at once because I do have to break it up because I also don't have the time to take her on a really long walk. But like, what's the goal?
Every dog is different, like energy requirement wise. Like I have a German Shepherd who would like work out all day if he could. I think for her, a reasonable amount of time would be like a 15 to 20 minute walk twice a day.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be super long.
Okay, I can do that.
The other big thing with the heat is if it is really hot out, being really mindful of that. They don't sweat like we do, so they can't regulate their body temperature the way we can. They usually regulate their body temperature through panting or through their paws. So if their paws are on hot asphalt or concrete, it's going to be really hard for them to cool down. So if it's really hot out, I would be like minimizing that outdoor activity.
Okay. Or try to walk them in the grass or something.
Yeah, or walk them in the grass or do it in the evening or the afternoon when it's not as sunny out.
Cool.
And then the other thing too is like it doesn't always have to be like outdoor, running him into the ground, playing fetch. Like really smart dogs, like she has poodle in her, so she's probably very smart. You can do like a puzzle feeder or things like that that stimulate their mind and also can like get their energy out without having to do tons of outdoor activity.
Oh, okay. I saw puzzle feeders on Amazon. I ordered it she eats out of a little maze.
Yeah,
so it
perfect.
slows her down.
Yeah, that's great.
But it's not like a puzzle.
Yeah, yeah, mazes are good. Puzzles are good. Does she play with Maggie?
No,
Oh.
I want them to be best friends so bad. That'd be so great. But the closest they get is at night when we're sleeping. Like if the dog is in my bed and the cat is in my bed, like that's as close as we get.
Does Maggie do the little paw, 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 like punch her in the
I mean,
face?
she'll kind of like get up on her hind legs and be like, and then like swat at her, but she won't go and like intentionally just start hitting her. It's more if Kara comes in her space that she'll react.
Okay.
So she's reactionary.
Okay. Well, maybe your next dog or cat. We do love an interspecies friendship.
I know. I want that so badly.
Maybe Liam, the bird, will bring us all
together. But I love
together.
you guys. All good. I love you.
They're perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Love chatting about your animals and mushrooms and crows and
parakeets
and
incense.
All the things. Yeah, I don't think you killed Chris, so I hope that gives you some peace of mind.
Thank you. That helps.
And for all of you listening, be sure to rate, review, subscribe. As always, you can find me on Instagram at Dr. Josie Vet. Send me your questions. Click the link in my bio to record any questions you want me to answer on the podcast. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.